the name Jamar.
I'm not an athlete.
Hey, yo.
And I have half the reign that you do.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to see another episode. This is episode 5 of my Journey of Wrestling series that I like to call Make WCW Great Again, the WCW Live scenario in the Journey of Wrestling booking game. As you might have seen at the start of the episode, put up a little memorial, because a little bit of sad news for me and my family recently. Dr. Chris Whiten, my cousin, recently passed away, and I thought this would be actually a good opportunity to spread some of the good work that he was doing. He was a doctor at Leicester Children's Hospital, and one of his big projects over the last few years was to get this going, the Leicester Children's Hospital Appeal. If you do have a little bit of money you want to donate to somewhere, why not donate it to the Leicester Children's Hospital Appeal? Good cause. But hey, if you don't have any money to donate, you can just simply spread the word around. You can share the hashtag on Twitter, or share it on Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing. So anyway, let's get into where we left off last week. Okay, now last week's episode we just finished Slamboree, and we had new tag champs, Air Raid of that's AJ Styles and I think it's Air Paris. They won the tag team titles. The other titles didn't change hands, but we're building towards bigger things. Okay, now one of the things that's really frustrated me about WCW's roster at this stage of the early 2000s, well, the imaginary WCW of the early 2000s, they've been resurrected in this scenario, is that there's just so much dead weight on the roster, and I've mentioned it so many times, and then it suddenly hit me. Why not trade? And I think someone actually mentioned that in the comments before. You should just start trading people. And I had an idea, and I had a look around who's available to trade. I was thinking, who's a big name that's, well, a big name to be in 2001, real up-and-comer. And I saw on the roster for WWF was Jeff Hardy. So it got me thinking. I've got quite a few big names who are a bit past their prime. They're just dead weight hanging around WCW. So I thought, instead of just firing them, why not try to trade them? And one of those names is Lex Luger. Now I was thinking, wouldn't it be a real steal if I could trade someone as useless as Lex Luger, who's like well into his 40s by this stage, and trade him for someone as exciting as Jeff Hardy? Can you imagine getting Jeff Hardy into WCW? Let's see if we can do it. So I've set up the trade block here. According to their popularity and ratings, they're sort of equivalent. In fact, Lex Luger is slightly more popular than Jeff Hardy at the moment, which I find very difficult to believe. Let's make the offer. Your offer was sent to World Wrestling Federation. You should receive a reply in your messages. Oh, this is exciting. Let's have a look at the messages. Yes! We've accepted your offer to trade Jeff Hardy for Lex Luger. We hope you take good care of our talent, and we'll do the same with yours. Right on. Jeff Hardy is coming to WCW, everybody. You know what that means. We've got to see if we can get Matt Hardy. Imagine getting the Hardy Boys into WCW. Could really start turning things around, actually. So let's Try it. Let's try and get both the Hardy Boys in there. Who are we going to trade from WCW for Matt Hardy? So if we go through the WWF's roster right now, and I believe... where they gone? Yeah, Matt Hardy's rated at only 584. I think this could be a steal if we could get both the Hardy Boys. So we'll select Matt Hardy. Now, who can we trade for Matt Hardy? Let's see. DDP. David Flair. He's kind of useless, actually. And look at his popularity ratings. That's way too high. You know what? He's rated higher currently than Matt Hardy. This should work. If this works, we get rid of a pretty useless member of the roster, in my opinion. So let's try it out. David Flair for Matt Hardy. Let's try and make it a permanent trade. Let's make the offer. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yes, we've got it. We've got the Hardy Boys coming to WCW. This is huge. This is massive. All right. Exciting times. Let's do some more trades later on. If you've got any ideas about who I should trade to get into WCW, leave it in the comments. But let's get back to booking and making WCW great again. So, Air Raid are our new tag team champions as of Slamboree. So, let's have a segment this week on Nitro where we sort of parade them around a little bit, try and build up a bit of pomp and ceremony for these new guys. And of course, one of our goals for this year is to get AJ Styles over. So, I think we need to start doing a lot more with him. So, champion coronation for tag teams. Where are they? With the Air Raid. There we go. Okay. Let's book that segment. Now, matches. So with Slamboree finished, we really had Rey Mysterio get over. And also, at the moment, we've got Billy Kidman as the Cruiserweight Championship, a title which I kind of forgot about, to be honest. Why don't we have those two feud over that title for a bit? Okay, and we get back to booking. Well, let's have the first of a series of matches in this feud on Nitro this week. And on paper, this sounds like a really good... Oh, it's got to be a singles match. On paper, it sounds like a really good matchup. So there we go. Yeah, we'll make it a title match. Now, also, one of the reasons why I had the Natural Born Thrillers lose the tag team titles is because we need to make something out of Sean O'Haire. And I've mentioned a few times that Sean was a really, really promising talent who's sadly no longer with us. But he was just badly utilized. So, singles push for Sean O'Haire. Let's get Sean O'Haire versus... He's currently a heel. Later on, I think we'll turn him. We've got so many heels. Who's a face we can put him over against? Oh, Conan. So let's book that. Okay. Yep, 10% alignment boost. See how that goes. Right. And our tag team scene. Now, I think a team that really deserved a lot more was Team Canada. Well, certainly, in my opinion, Lance Storm, they could have used him a lot better in both WCW and WWF, to be honest. So I would like to see Team Canada start doing much better than they are. And let's put them over a face team. America's Most Wanted. They've already lost. They've already lost at Slamboree. Who can take the loss? The Insiders. Kevin Nash and DDP. You know what? I think the Insiders is a bit of a duff team in my opinion. So why not? Why not have Team Canada go over these guys? Ooh, -5 alignment boost. Dear, oh dear. Okay, well, we'll run with it. We'll see what happens. Okay, we've got 2 slots left. Maybe we should have... We need a main event. We need a much bigger main event, don't we? So let's have a multi-man match. We'll have our United States champion Booker T. And Scott Steiner is out of his feud with Sting now. So, you know what? Why not have Scott Steiner in there? And we'll put Goldberg in there for good measure as well. A triple threat match for the US title. It almost sounds like a pay-per-view type of event, really. But I'm just trying to get some big names on the card to, boost the ratings, to be honest. And we've got 1 slot left. Why don't we have, as I mentioned before, eventually later on in the year, let's get Ric Flair to have the title. So let's have, currently Ric is a heel. We'll have him do a Heat promo. Okay, so where's Ric Flair? We'll book that segment. So that's Nitro full. So we'll have our main event of Goldberg versus Scott Steiner versus Booker T. And then we will have... let's put Conan versus Sean O'Haire. Well, let's put the Heat promo before that. So if we kick off with Insiders versus Team Canada, then Champion Coronation of Air Raid, then the Cruiserweight match, then Conan versus Sean O'Haire. Okay, right. Let's play this out. See how it goes. Right, the Insiders versus Team Canada. Okay, Insiders are going down. They're really dull. Old men. Team Canada to win. Not great. It's just under 3 stars. I will blame the Insiders for that, stinking it up. Right, our Champion Coronation. Oh dear. I have to say, it's hard work with Air Raid. They're not very charismatic, I guess. Jeez, 1.5 stars. That's not good news. Let's hope we make up for that abomination that was the Championship Coronation of Air Raid with a hot Cruiserweight Championship match. Okay, so we'll have Billy Kidman retain. 3 stars. Okay. Take it. Right, Conan versus Sean O'Haire. On paper, this could be quite good. So, we want to build up Sean O'Haire. Let's have him go over. Slightly under 3 stars. It's given him a little bit of a popularity boost, though, which is what we want. That's the purpose of it. Come on, Rick. Deliver a good promo. This has not been a good episode of Nitro so far. 3.5 stars. It's okay. It's better. He insulted the crowd, called them losers. Now, this looks like a pretty good main event. So we'll have Booker T keep his title versus Scott Steiner and Goldberg. 3.5 stars. Okay, so our highest rating for any particular match or segment was 3.5 stars. It's not the best episode of Nitro. It's not the worst either. Overall, it's just under 3 stars according to the Wrestling Spectator. But look, our ratings are going up slightly, but the bad news is I think WWF Monday Night Raw is also going up. So, yeah. Let's book the go-home show to the Great American Bash now. So we really got to build this up. Right. Now, let's start off with the easy admin. A production segment to hype up the Great American Bash. Okay, so we'll book that there. So we've got 6 segments left. Now, tag team scene. Recently, our new champs, Air Raid, have not been very popular with the crowd. So, if we start trying to book them into some good on paper matchups, hopefully they'll get more popular. Let's do that. So let's go with, we got tag team Air Raid, and I think so. Their Air Raid faces the best heel tag team we've got in terms of work rate right now is not quite the Young Dragons. It's Team Canada. So I think their styles are really going to match. You imagine Lance Storm versus AJ Styles, for example. I mean, there you go. Let's try that out, okay? It sounds good. It really should work. There's a 10% alignment boost, so fingers crossed. Right, let's get into the singles matches now. And last week, Ric Flair came out and he did a promo. Now, what's going to be our main event of the Great American Bash? Sting is the champion. So, if we have Sting, Ric Flair, Booker T, and we'll bring someone in from the upper mid card. Try to give them a bit of a pump in terms of popularity. Of course, Sean O'Haire. So let's put Sean O'Haire in there as well. If he goes well, he's not going to win, obviously, but if he goes well, hopefully he gets a bit of a boost out of this because he's in the ring with 3 very big names. Okay, so our main event's going to be a fatal 4-way match. And I think for the main event of Great American Bash, we'll have Sting defend. Well, I mean, let's do it. Let's do Sting versus Ric Flair, and then we'll turn that into a feud. So there we go. We got this week's main event sorted out. We've already got the Hardy Boys in that roster. It is interesting. I am not going to put them on yet. I will debut them at Great American Bash because they're big names. They deserve to be debuted on a pay-per-view. Got to make them into a tag team first before we do that, but we'll get to that. Now, one of the guys trying to build up was Chris Kanyon. If we put Chris Kanyon versus... who's a good match for Chris Kanyon? There aren't many faces. Norman Smiley, bit of an older guy, great work rate, and good charisma. I like Norman Smiley, actually. Would it work if I put him up against Chris Kanyon? Let's see. Because as I keep saying, Chris Kanyon was someone who really talented, should have been a lot higher than he was. Yeah, it's got a 10% alignment boost, so let's try and use Norman Smiley to enhance Kanyon. Okay, we've got 3 slots left. We're going to need at least one more segment, I think. Well, why don't we have this time a promo battle between our 2 feuding cruiserweights of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. Now, I know Billy Kidman wasn't the greatest on the mic. Neither's Rey for that matter, but not too bad. Let's give them a chance, though, to build their skills on the microphone. So, if we book that, we've got 2 more slots left. Now, who isn't on the scene at the moment? We've still got some big names that could be doing things. Goldberg's not doing anything. Kevin Nash is still not doing much. Oh, of course, we're going to be using Jeff Jarrett. Because I do want him to eventually get that US title, and then Booker T later on down the line can go for the heavyweight title. So why don't we just book Goldberg, Jeff Jarrett for this week? Let's try getting some of our lower or upper mid-card guys into a little bit of a better position. It's tough because there's still a lot of chaff in the roster. Why don't we give Jimmy Yang a bit of a singles go at the same time that he's also in the Young Dragons? So let's put Jimmy Yang, Evan Karagias, Jamie Noble's there as well. Really good worker. We haven't done much with Finley. Now, he could be a really good enhancement guy. So let's have Finley and another... Terry Funk. So we got like 2 older guys who are really, really popular. If all goes well with the two younger guys, Evan Karagias and Jimmy Yang, it could make them look really good if it's a banger of a match. So why don't we book that for Nitro, and then if it works well, we'll put these guys into the Great American Bash next week as well. Okay, so we've got our Nitro sorted out. We'll kick off with, Terry Funk, Fit Finlay, Evan Karagias, and Jimmy Yang. Then we'll go into, let's have Norman Smiley versus Chris Kanyon. Then we'll have our promo battle. Let's see. Then let's do our tag team championship match. Then Jeff Jarrett versus Goldberg, event package, and the main event. Right, let's see how it goes. So, opening match, Terry Funk, Fit Philly, Evan Karagias, Jimmy Yang. Now I think it's got to be Evan Karagias or Jimmy Yang. We need more faces to go over. And eventually I do want to get Jimmy Yang over. But today, I think I'll have Evan Karagias go over. Look at that. That's not bad. That's not bad off the bat. 3.5 stars. Well done, guys. Yeah. Good. Jimmy Yang didn't come off too badly in that either. Okay. Norman Smiley versus Chris Kanyon. Okay, let's see what happens if I put Chris Kanyon over. 3 stars. Okay. Not bad. Rey Mysterio Jr. and Kidman in their promo battle. Yeah, 2.25 stars. I mean, like I said, neither of those guys are known for their on-the-mic skills, but I'm trying to give them a chance. Okay, tag team championship match now. Air Raid versus Team Canada. Hopefully this is going to be a banger of a match, and it makes, well, ideally both teams look good. So let's have Air Raid retain. Yes! Look at that. That's almost 4 stars. Well done, guys. Team Canada didn't come off too badly there either. Okay, Goldberg versus Jeff Jarrett. Now, this is interesting. At this point, I think, it's hard to say. Where is the value more? Is there still more value in Goldberg than Jeff Jarrett at this stage? I'd say it's about even Stevens. Why don't we have Goldberg win this one, and the Great American Bash, we'll have Jeff Jarrett go over. Yeah, slightly under 3 stars. Okay. Event package time, 2.5. I guess there's not a lot of hype out there for Great American Bash. Right, main event time. Sean O'Haire versus Booker T versus Ric Flair versus Sting. So, obviously Sting's going to win, but the real interesting thing here is going to be how the other guys go, especially how is Sean O'Haire going to fare in this? Let's see. Right, it was a just under 4-star match, which is pretty good. Put Sting over. Everybody else, okay, minus a little bit, but not too bad. Obviously, we'll start putting this. This gives Sean O'Haire a little bit of exposure to the main event scene. Hopefully, the audience start to view him as a serious threat to championships now. I think at the Great American Bash, I might start putting him as a contender for the US title, but just put him in that scene. Okay, so that's our go-home show to the Great American Bash done, and it was a 3.25 star event according to Ringside Chairs and Circled Square and the Wrestling Spectator. Big Dave being a little bit kinder than before there, so continue. Well, our viewership has gone up a little bit. 5,000 more fans. Okay. Monday Night Raw's gone down just a little bit. That's interesting. Anyway, next episode will be the Great American Bash. So, I've got some interesting ideas for that pay-per-view. I'm going to debut the Hardy Boys, so that could be really cool. If you've got any ideas of what I should book in the Great American Bash or for just the scenario as a whole, why not drop those ideas in the comments and I'll read them and see if I can make them possible. Until then, thanks very much for watching.